On the High Court ruling and the fallout of that over the last couple of weeks, the opposition says the government's been asleep at the wheel when it comes to the release of the criminal non-citizen detainees. Should the government have legislation, should it have been ready in the contingency that the High Court made the ruling that it did?
Remember this, Kieran, this was a decision overturning 20 years of law. That this law was written by the former coalition government way back in 2004. Peter Dutton was the minister for 6 years in charge of this particular area. Did he have legislation ready? It was not anticipated for 20 years that this would occur. As soon as it occurred, we were ready to go with very clear visa conditions that were strict around people, and then making sure that the legislation could be got ready, which has been brought in, that allows for the ongoing monitoring, that ensures that people can't make contact with anyone who is a victim or a relative of a victim, that has strict curfews. We've acted within days of this High Court ruling, a High Court ruling based upon constitutionality. And you'll recall that for day after day, week after week, month after month, the Coalition have stood up in this Parliament here and said that, oh, once you have a constitution, then it can't be out-legislated. Well, what we've done is deal with what is an unfortunate position. It's not one that we wanted. We didn't make the decision to release these people. The High Court directed that that occur.
The opposition says you should look at the high-risk terrorist offender framework, things like preventative or continuing detention orders for this cohort. Will you look at those options? Are you looking at those options?
Kieran, we await the decision of the High Court where the reasons haven't been published yet. So that will have implications as well. But we are doing all that we need to do, everything within our power to keep people safe. That's our first, second and third priority.
When it comes to the broader issue, have you got confidence in the response of your ministers to this? While you've said you've done all the things necessary and appropriately, has the political and communication response been what it needs to be?
Oh, absolutely. And Claire O'Neill was on one of your programs yesterday morning, again, articulating a very strong position that she's had. We responded appropriately with the appropriate committee meetings and developing the response, but preparation was done well in advance, even though the advice was that overturning 20 years of precedent was what the High Court decided to do. But in advance of that, there had already been discussions between our agencies and state and territory agencies as well, law enforcement, about a response should the result come down as it did.